Sponsored by the Elder Scrolls Online, Morrowind. Return to the iconic island of Vardenfell in the Elder Scrolls Online, Morrowind.
There are thousands of lines of dialogue in Overwatch, and while some of them you might hear in nearly every game,
I need healing.
some others are so rare you could play for hundreds of hours and not even hear them once. But to make sure you don't miss out, these are Overwatch's rarest voice lines.
So much drama going on in the LBC. It's kinda hard being Road HO G.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O G.
One of the rarest lines in the game comes from D.Va when she says,
솔직히 스타로 아빠는 못 이기겠더라.
which roughly translates to, honestly, I can't beat Dad at StarCraft. Pretty interesting when you remember D.Va is the reigning world champion. That's not her only rare voice line either. Normally when D.Va becomes on fire, she'll simply say,
I'm on fire!
but on very rare occasions, she might mix it up.
Boom shakalaka, she's on fire!
Alternative voice lines in general are some of the rarest. For example, McCree will normally tell you,
My ultimate's ready.
but occasionally he will use an alternate line.
You know what time it is.
One of Orissa's purchasable voice lines is called Current Outlook, and she'll normally say things like,
Current outlook, optimal. Current outlook, negative.
however, on rare occasions, she will instead give the weather forecast.
Current outlook, slight chance of rain.
Roadhog also has an alternative thank you message. Rather than his usual gritty,
Thanks.
he will say,
Thank you.
one of Hanzo's rarest voice lines doesn't seem to have any particular trigger, but occasionally during setup, he'll quote Sun Tzu.
If you sit by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by.
McCree will also whistle on very rare occasions. Many months ago, Overwatch didn't have a one hero limit, so there were some special voice lines made to allow heroes to interact with themselves. For example, if you had two Mercies on your team and one boosted the other, she might say,
Ah, so that's how it feels.
and when being revived, she has a similar line.
So that's what it feels like.
When Tracer meets herself, she worries there might be a problem with her Chronal Accelerator.
Whoa, it's me! Is my chronal accelerator malfunctioning again? Wait, that's what I was just thinking. Spooky!
D.Va, however, has her own theory on how there can be two of her on the same team.
It's me! Someone must be hacking. I hope we don't get banned for this.
Lastly, Junkrat will also talk to himself, but he'd actually say this if he sees himself on an enemy team.
He looks familiar. Hey, that's me!
Some of these next voice lines I've not personally heard in game, but some players have reported they're in there, and if not accessible in the game, they've certainly been contained in its files. One of the coolest has to be Lucio beatboxing.
Chillin', chillin', so much chillin', too much chillin', this is all I'm chillin'. Chillin', 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 chill, chill, chill. Boom, 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 chill, chill, chill. Boom, boom, chill, chill, chill.
It's possible this could be some kind of voice line for when the hero is left idle. There are some more from other heroes that have a similar theme.
Oh, don't mind me, I was just taking 5. Definitely not thinking about blowing something up. No way. Definitely not. Okay, come on, maybe just a little something.
Junkrat has a pretty cool voice line where he makes a reference to a Warcraft character and one of the most notorious cards in Hearthstone's history.
If I had a PhD, they'd call me Dr. Boom.
And you've probably heard Reaper and Widowmaker refer to the museum heist cinematic before. But Winston also has a rare voice line, reflecting on his performance in the encounter.
I should have dropped a shield for those nice kids.
Around Valentine's Day, there was a cute little bit of dialogue added between Genji and Mercy when they're together on Hanamura.
I got you some chocolates, Genji. Swiss, they're the best.
Thank you, Angela. Perhaps you could share them with me?
And again around the start of the new year, many characters got new voice lines. I wonder if these will get updated next year.
My New Year's resolutions. Less peanut butter, more bananas.
My New Year's resolution? New skates for all the kids in the neighborhood.
My New Year's resolution: take some time off.
As you probably know, some voice lines are tied to skins, and you've no doubt heard the ones from popular skins quite a lot. But some of the less commonly used skins also have lines attached to them. Soldier 76 has a unique voice line in his Night Ops and Commando skins, not only tied to the skin itself, but also to being on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
Every hero also has a voice line for getting 10 votes on the end of game cards. It's pretty rare to hear those, so here are some of the best ones.
I won! What did I win?
Time to ride off into the sunset.
Save the medals. I've had my fill.
Do I win a prize?
Then, lastly, we have probably the rarest voice line in the entire game.
I'm moving the payload.
So, how many of those voice lines have you heard before? Are there any rare voice lines I might have missed? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this is James Flacasse saying thanks for watching and enjoy the game.
Return to the iconic island of Vardenfell in the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind.
Now, it is your time to save Morrowind.